Hello again, Forrest. It's good to see you back.
Hello back.
We've got a lot of questions from the community asking about the dimensions are cool and everything, but why like 500 horsepower for this little truck, like 0 to 60 in 4 seconds? Couldn't you theoretically save money by using a cheaper motor or just having one motor? Like, what's the logic with this much power in such a small footprint?
Sure. I think the first thing to talk about is people often think about the motor as equivalent to the gasoline engine in the cars they've driven in the past. And it's not exactly like that. I like to think of it more as the battery is more like the engine. So imagine this is your V8 engine. And this is really your transmission. This is what's converting the power from your battery into motive power. And so a lot of times when you're talking about a gasoline vehicle, you don't talk about like the size of your transmission or you want to save some money in getting a smaller transmission or not. It's really tied to the engine. So in the EV, we go with 5,760 of these 2170s, which is the size of the cell. And that number of cells gets us the range that we want.
Right.
So that's the only thing that's different with the gas.
Sure. It affects range more directly.
It affects range. And so range is what we're after. But we can draw 45 amps from each one of these cells, which is a lot of cells to draw power from. So we have that V8 engine.
Right.
Do we want to have a V8 transmission or not? It doesn't really make a huge difference. We will probably at some point offer a lower range, that's what would affect the price the most.
Yeah.
And in that case, we may go with a single motor for commercial vehicles or for consumers that want it. But for the most part, we want to make sure that we really give people the best experience for the V8 battery that we've kind of given them.
Right.
And we need that for the range.
So I'm guessing it wouldn't save a bunch of money on your launch models to go with a cheaper motor.
Right. It would save some to go with 1 versus 2.
Yeah,
for sure, and we haven't discussed yet whether we're when we'll offer that.
Yeah,
but we want to start off with a fully featured.
Sure, all-wheel drive is nice. People appreciate that. And with such limited space dimensions on the Telo, was there any talk or consideration of hub motors pushing them straight out to the wheels?
So we didn't, partially because hub motors suffer from durability. So lots of companies have tried it and have always had an issue with the durability. There's also the issue of unsprung mass. You have a lot of mass in your wheels, it affects handling. That said, I mean, if there was a production motor out there, we would certainly entertain it. We haven't found anything that's to the level that we can get in the motors we're using.
Got it, makes sense. Has a supplier been chosen?
I don't know if we're announcing that yet. I'll have to talk about that.
We'll talk. So for those down the road single motor options, would it make more sense to be front wheel drive or rear wheel drive?
So I personally think it would make more sense to have it be front wheel drive. I like having front wheel drive vehicles if you're only going to have 2 wheels, just so you have rain and snow capabilities. If it was rear wheel drive, it would give the benefit of a slightly tighter turning radius. So that's kind of the trade-off.
Gotcha.
The commercial customers we've talked to so far have been interested in the front wheel drive because they get more space in the back. We could actually lower the bed even more so they could have more load-in space.
Cool. So comment below which one you'd rather have, tighter turning radius or more storage, basically.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping us up to date.
You bet.